Emad Yacoub and Shannon Bosa-Yacoub are the co-founders and proprietors of Glowbal Group restaurants. Emad began his career as executive chef in several Toronto restaurants, then at Joe Fortes in Vancouver. Emad met his future wife Shannon at Joe Fortes while she was managing that restaurant's busy dining room. After spending several years in BC's restaurant industry, Emad and Shannon decided it was time to make their own move. They opened Toronto's Solo on Yonge Street and Brownstone Bistro before relocating back to Vancouver. Today, the Glowbal Collection is comprised of 8 restaurants: Glowbal Group Steaks and Satay in Yaletown, Coast Restaurant, Italian Kitchen, Trattoria Italian Kitchen, Society, Black+Blue, 2 IK2Go locations, and 2 lounges, AFTERglow and O Lounge. Their 9th restaurant, called the Fish Shack, will open on Granville Street tomorrow, I believe to the public the next day. Along with the city's largest patio at Black+Blue, we believe later this fall they'll confirm it. Please join me in welcoming Emad Yacoub and Shannon Bosa-Yacoub.
How's everybody? Well, the truth is, I'm just a good-looking face for the company. My wife started the company and she wanted a face for marketing, so she picked up my face and she put it in front. She's the brain behind everything. The second part, I like the idea about traveling because she doesn't like Vegas as a place that I should get my inspiration. So every time I say Vegas, she says no Vegas. Restaurants, a little bit different. We grow up in a way about restaurant groups or about opening an own restaurant. I remember when I was a little younger and I was doing my apprenticeship and I worked with some of the most brilliant chefs in the world. He showed me exactly how the service has to be and how the food has to be. And, you're always thinking you want to open your own restaurant. So you're thinking, I'm going to open a restaurant, I'm going to give people good food and good service. And they're going to come, I'm going to open the door and there's going to be waves of people coming through the doors. Where it's not the truth. Restaurant business, we discovered that it's more than a science, it's an idea of an energy that you're trying to create. How can I create an energy that when people walking into the door and you're opening the door and bang, it hits you in the face and you say, there's something different about this place. It comes from what? It comes from lighting, it comes from music, it comes from designs. Every time we have an idea, as an example, the Fish Shack that we're launching tomorrow, I went to bed early night for one of these nights and decided I'm going to go to bed early. And I walked into bed at around 10 o'clock at night. And I wake up around 11:30. I can't sleep. But all I remember is a picture in my head of a fish net was full of seafood and corn and potatoes, something I saw in Seattle years ago. And I couldn't get it, shaking it out of my head. And by 4 o'clock in the morning, I have a concept on a piece of paper. I draw the concept, the lighting, the music, everything I want. And my wife wakes up in the morning and says, honey, we're shutting down Santa Fe and we're going to start something new. She said, when did you think of that? I said, well, I didn't sleep last night. What we get out of that was what? It's when we start thinking of how we're going to open a restaurant, we started thinking of how the customer is going to feel inside the restaurant. When you're walking through the doors, we sit with designer and we say, where is the lights going to be hitting exactly the center of the table? Because we want the shadows, you don't want the lights in their face. And where the music, how to drop the speakers in the certain areas in the restaurant to create this very loud in certain area but very quiet in another area. How to create not just the lighting and the music and the designs, how to create a design when people walking in, you feel comfortable in. Designers, when you sit with your designer, they're always talking about this new chair that it's unbelievable, it costs like $1,000. And the first question I always ask my designer, I say, can you sit in this chair 10 years from now and will feel as comfortable as the day you sit in? Because when you design a restaurant, you want it to design, you want it to fit the concept. So I'll give you a simple example, Coast. If anybody been in Coast, you walk into a Coast and you see this mosaic floor. Well, we sat with our designers and we said to them, I wanted the place to feel like 50 years old. Like this has been sitting there for years and years and years. And you walked in through the restaurant and then you said, how long this restaurant has been open? Oh, it's only been open for a year or two. Mosaic floor was perfect for it. So from the timing that we take over on a project until you guys see it, we try to make it a package that makes everybody comfortable for it. And then I turn around and I pass it to my wife, because then she's talking about how to market this package. I come up with it, and then it's her job to make sure that everybody knows about it. So I'm going to pass this to my beautiful wife, and she's going to be talking to you about marketing. Go ahead.
You changed the topic on me. Anyways, Emad takes care of more of the operations of the company, and like you said, it sort of starts as a concept, and then it gets passed on to my department. But you changed the concept, or the topic. So anyways, what I had prepared to talk about, or what we had initially discussed to talk about, was the cards next time. We were going to talk about the way the restaurant business has sort of evolved. Do you remember?
Yes.
And so, I'll start with my story. You get two different talks tonight. So, we were going to talk about the way sort of the restaurant business has evolved, and how customers have evolved, and expectations. So I can recall back when we first started out about 12 years ago, and really the only interaction you'd have with your guest was when they were actually sitting there in your restaurant, and that was your marketing. We were our marketing at the time in terms of being actual physical beings standing at the door and talking about our concept and our passion and what we did, and really sort of being that person who sold the concept and sold the brand and sold the product. And now with sort of the evolution, the age of social media, which has been wonderful for us, and we really embraced it, and really love it and view it as a huge part of our marketing, and it's factors into totally the daily operations of the company, but sort of has taken marketing or our interaction with the customer to be where, you know, I know when the guest has made a reservation, I know when they're in the cab on the way to the restaurant, I know when they've sat down, I know what they're drinking, I know what they're eating. I know, I see pictures of their food, you know, things,
You know when there is a problem.
and that's it. And we definitely know it's allowed us to sort of take that interaction and that experience to a really intimate level to be able to fix any sort of issue on the spot. It takes obviously a little bit of legwork when you've got one guest and an avatar that big in a restaurant with 400 people on a Saturday night, and I'm on the phone with the manager saying, okay, try and find this person, but we need to fix this. So do it, find them. I will get as much information as I can for you, but you know, we need to fix this. So that sort of evolution and change has been very positive. It's allowed us to have a really sort of intimate relationship with our customers. But the next thing I want to say, totally just summarize what we were going to say.
That's what I said. She wasn't listening to me. what we're trying to say is restaurants from the old days used to be boring. Used to be listen to classic music in the back, and you don't hear the chef screaming in the kitchen because the doors are closed and he's not allowed to walk to the dining room. And I remember when I was a chef, the owner used to run and close the kitchen door because he doesn't want to hear the screaming that coming out of the kitchen out to the dining room. The first thing we did when we opened our first restaurant, we have an open kitchen. Let the customer hear the plates are falling off and cracking, and the pans that slamming on the stoves and the screaming in the kitchen, because it's part of the experience, it's part of the energy. And this is the things that restaurant business changed. The energy of the restaurant business changed. When it comes to food and beverage, I'm sure everybody knows here that Vancouver have not just some of the best food and beverage in the world. It is. I walking into small places and big places, and the competition is amazing. The food is amazing. The service is amazing. So every day when we're sitting with our team and we're talking to them about what we're doing, we have to say to them, we have to be a little bit more than just food and beverage. We have to add the full experience. This is what she's talking about trying to find somebody on a Saturday night when I have 1.5 hour waiting list with the lineup on the door, and we're trying to find this person that said that he didn't like his glass of wine. And you tried to get with the manager and said, okay, check the section upstairs. He said that, she said she doesn't like her. Run around and find out who's the last person that got just a glass of wine got dropped in front of them. All these little small things that we do, it's to create that experience. And one day we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna enjoy our life. Thank you so much. Bye.